G'day and welcome to ReDriven. Now, if you're an aspiring bank robber or just running from the authorities in general, the Hyundai Tucson might just be the car for you. See, when these things were brand new, they were an excellent car and many people bought them. But even from the way it looks to how Hyundai marketed it, it never kind of shouted, hey, look at me, I'm awesome. It just sort of faded in the background, getting the job done properly. Hence why it's the perfect car for reliable anonymity. But now that these aren't new, are they still any good? Like, are they reliable, or are they falling apart like some apprehended criminal scumbag? Like, what goes wrong with them? What do they cost to own and operate and buy? What do they like to live with on a daily basis? And most importantly, should you buy one? Let's find out. Now, before we get deep into the Tucson, I know many of our American viewers are going to be cringing every time I say Hyundai, because for some reason, whatever it is, it feels like everyone in North America pronounces Hyundai Hyundai, but we checked with Hyundai and we checked with the internet, and the pronunciation is Hyundai, not Hyundai. Oh, also, can you hit the like, subscribe and bell icon buttons, and after the video, go and follow us on all the socials. Okay, funny story about the Tucson. Back in about 2018, a really good friend of mine asked me what my opinion of, which SUV he should buy, and I said the new Tucson is a fantastic car. He said he wasn't interested because it wasn't a European SUV, and he went and bought an Audi Q5, which is interesting because many of these were made in the Czech Republic, which is in Europe, and his Audi Q5 is made in Mexico, which isn't Europe. But he was a dickhead. Anyway, speaking of countries, look, in this video, we will be focusing on the Australian variants of the Hyundai Tucson, but if you're not from Australia, don't freak out or panic, because everything we're going to be going over should relate to Tucsons in your local market. This generation Tucson arrived in 2015 and has been available in primarily 4 trim levels, and depending on trim level, available with a choice of either front wheel or all-wheel drive via a 6-speed manual, 6 or 8-speed automatic, or 7-speed dual clutch transmission, mated to either a 1.6-litre turbocharged or 2-litre naturally aspirated petrol engine or a 2-litre turbo diesel. The Tucson received a midlife update in 2018, receiving some subtle exterior styling changes, but more notably, a substantial refresh to the interior, tech and equipment levels. Now look, we'd love to go over every graphic detail of every variant and upgrade in this video, but that would just take far too long. But we have gathered all that information and we put it in our handy ReDriven cheat sheets. Our cheat sheets are invaluable as they provide a full breakdown of the car's model range, its common problems, what you need to look out for before handing over your hard-earned cash, how much of that cash you should be handing over, and so much more. Check it out at redriven.com or in the link below. Now look, if you already own a Tucson or you're a Tucson expert in some way or shape or form, and you've noticed that we've missed something about the Tucson in this video, please let us know in the comments section below. Like, look, obviously we're trying to cover everything we possibly can, but we generally find it's those that own Tucsons that are the true experts. So yeah, if we've missed something, let us know in the comments. Okay, so does it look good? Look, in isolation like this, yeah, I think it's a pretty attractive car. This was actually a pretty massive turning point in design terms for Hyundai. Before this, they looked a bit gross and ugly. But the funny thing is, because it's not like extroverted in any way, when you put it out in the real world amongst other cars, it just it tends to vanish a little bit. Like they're almost like a secret car. Actually, here's a bit of homework for you. This week after you've watched this video, just take note of how many of these things are out on public roads, and you're all of a sudden just like going, my God, they're everywhere. But you never noticed that before. Okay, now issues and common problems. These headlights on the pre-facelift, actually before I get into that, these models had a facelift in 2018. Visually here, not a whole lot changed. There's a slightly different headlight design, different tail light design, but the major upgrades were inside and tech and equipment. But the pre-facelift headlights aren't that fantastic. The LEDs on the Highlander, the top spec one, are fine, but these ones, not so good. Around town, like when there's street lighting, they're okay, but out on country roads or even the freeway at night time, the headlights are pretty crap. There are a few reports of the rear door locking mechanism kind of freaking out and not actually unlocking. It's not a common issue as such, and it only really affects really early cars from 2016, and it should have been covered under warranty anyway. But yeah, if you are test driving one of these and it's from 2016, just make sure that the doors lock and unlock. And okay, besides that, make sure you just check over the whole car, obviously, for any accident damage or any dodgy repair work. But for the exterior, so far so good. So how's the interior? Well, look, from a design aspect, it's fine. It's not exactly premium in here. I should mention the 2018 model with the facelift. It received a massive redesign of the interior, and it also improved the materials, so it feels far more premium than this. But yeah, it does the job. It's fine. As far as wear and tear goes, this is this gentleman's daily driver. He drives it to work and back every day. And wear and tear is quite good. The steering wheel, the leather isn't getting too shiny. It still feels quite nice. The seats, I don't know if this is leather. Apparently it's supposed to be leather. It just doesn't feel quite like leather. But in saying that, they're wearing really nicely. The level of squidge is really nice, still quite supportive and comfortable. Even the seating position is quite nice. There is a little bit of paint missing on this fascia unit here, but everything else, wear and tear, yeah, it feels fine. Even the buttons still feel totally fine in this sea of grey and black plastic. It's probably wearing really well because there's a complete lack of squidge in here. Like, everything's quite hard and plasticky, so there's not a lot that kind of can go wrong. The dashboard feels a little bit squidgy, but again, it doesn't feel premium. Now, as far as issues and problems and things to watch out for, the air conditioning unit in some of the 2016 models had a problem where it stopped being air conditioning and started blowing hot air instead of cool air. Most of these problems were resolved under warranty by Hyundai. If it's out of warranty and that starts going wrong, it's going to be expensive to fix because the whole dashboard has to come out to fix it, but only in 2016 models. Also, on some early versions of these, the window mechanisms failed so the window wouldn't go up and down. This one isn't a common problem. There's only a couple of reports online about it, and again, it should have been fixed under warranty by Hyundai. Okay, now the back seat. I'm 60.9267 attoparsecs tall. This is in my driving position, and I've got heaps of room. There's loads of foot room, loads of knee room. Even the upper body feels nice and free for activities because it has a panoramic roof. It just feels nice and spacious back here. I feel great as an adult. As a child, this would feel palatial. As far as wear and tear goes, this leather still feels fantastic. As I said, this thing is used as a daily driver. There are people back here all the time. Feels great. There are a few little scratches on the hard plastic on the backs of the seats, but we'll get to why that is in a sec. How's the tech? Well, it's actually pretty bloody good. From launch, even the base model Tucsons received Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and all Tucsons come with Bluetooth phone connectivity, either a 7 or 8-inch touchscreen, obviously depending on the year and model, a rear view camera, rear parking sensors, and cruise control. Higher-spec Tucsons are equipped with everything from heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheels, and active LED headlights, but for all the graphic details, go and check out the cheat sheet. As far as common problems and issues go, look, there aren't really many. There are some reports that in the early 2016 models that the infotainment system can just completely freeze and Bluetooth connectivity can just drop out intermittently. Again, this is a problem that should have been fixed up with Hyundai under warranty, but again, also, it's not a common problem as such. So, is it practical? Well, in the boot, yes, there's heaps of space back here. Plus, there's no load lip, that's awesome. And these seats, they fold completely flat, so there's loads of space. As far as wear and tear goes, I should mention that the guy that owns this car is actually a musician. So there's PA systems and guitars and drums getting loaded in and out of this all the time. So some of the hard plastics have, scratched up a little bit, but the carpet and the load bay in general, wearing really well. Practicality in the back seat, you have an armrest with a couple of cup holders there. There are nets on the backs of the seats in case you need somewhere to put your fish after fishing. There are good sized door bins here and some door pockets up here. However, this particular model doesn't have any air vents or like USB charging points in the back. Later model higher spec Tucsons do have it. Again, check the cheat sheets for which ones have what. But yeah, this is a bit disappointing. If you're a kid in the back seat, it might get a little bit stuffy back here. And practicality up front, you have a sunglasses holder, which the wonderful owner has actually put his sunglasses in. Well done, mate. An excellent sized glove box. There's a spot down here for like a New York slice of pizza. Great spot here for your mobile phone. Cup holders, 2 different sizes. Little cubby holders here. Excellent sized door bins and quite a deep but small pocket in the door to hide all your dirt and dust and crap, because that is going to get filthy. So what goes wrong with these? Well, Hyundai used to have a horrendous reputation when it came to mechanical reliability, but did it improve with this model Tucson? I'm not a mechanic, I'm not qualified to answer that question, but Jim is.
Statistically, globally, Hyundai are at the pointy end of the reliability rankings. They're at the top of their game. And that's what we see in the workshop too. Out of all the ones we see in the workshop, most of them are here for servicing and very rarely for repairs. And servicing for these is pretty cheap too. And typically, none of the late model Tucsons we see have any major problems. And thanks to long warranties, any of the minor problems we find are sorted by the dealership. We have had some customers complain about the fuel economy in the petrol models, but I'd still recommend the petrol over the diesel, because in the unlikely event that something should go wrong, the petrol will be cheaper to repair than the diesel. The older ones of these are starting to come out of their warranty periods now, so if you are looking at one, make sure the services are up to date, and that way, if there is any warranty left, things will still be covered.
Is it safe? Well, look, the levels of safety equipment varied in Tucsons depending on age and spec, but even the base model spec from launch was, yeah, pretty safe. While it featured 6 airbags, electronic stability control, and a 5-star ANCAP safety rating, you will have to climb the Tucson family tree or buy a more recent post-update example to acquire any modern safety tech like autonomous emergency braking, lane keep assist, or blind spot monitoring. Again, for all the graphic details of which Tucson gets what safety tech, just check out the cheat sheet. So what's it like to drive? Well, this car has the 2-litre naturally aspirated petrol engine, and it's not the most powerful or inspiring thing. Look, obviously it's not trying to be a sports car by any means, but even just overtaking or getting up to speed on the freeway, it takes a bit too much effort. Look, around town or even out on these country roads, it's fine, but as soon as you put your kids on board or a couple of adults, it just starts to feel a bit sluggish. Negatives beside that, that's about it. Honestly, it does pretty much everything else really well. Especially the ride quality and how refined this thing is. Like, the suspension is tuned for Australian conditions, and you can tell, like, it just handles these crappy roads so well, and it feels secure all the time. Actually, on that point of feeling secure, you can get these in all-wheel drive. This is front-wheel drive. This feels secure. The all-wheel drive ones, it feels like they're bolted to the ground. There are no like excessive rattles or squeaks or even excessive road or even wind noise in this thing. And Hyundai upgraded or improved the levels of NVH on the 2018 update of this, and this is pre-update and it still sounds good until you've got to rev the engine out because that sounds a bit crap. It's even like really easy to place on the road on these kind of tighter country roads or even in like tight car parks because the visibility is excellent. The steering is even really nice and responsive. It's lovely in every scenario until you got to go fast. Like, seriously, I can't get over how refined and comfortable this car is, even after this many years and this many kilometres, and it's the pre-update one. I do wish it had more power. Pricing here in Australia kicks off from around about $15,000 for a base model active from like 2016 with north of 200,000 kilometres on the clock, and tops out at around $50,000 for a recent mint condition Highlander, the top spec one. Something like this, a 2017 Active X with around 70,000 kilometres on it and in excellent condition, this is going to hover around about the $25,000 mark. And for pricing in the US and the UK, here's a graphic. Hyundai have a claimed fuel consumption figure of anywhere from 6.4 to 7.9 litres per 100 kilometres, depending on Tucson variant and age and all that sort of stuff. This particular Tucson is claimed at 7.9, but on this test, we're seeing figures of around about 8.5. Hyundai offered an excellent 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty on all Tucsons, meaning that it's only the really early Tucsons that are actually running out of any factory support. Servicing is recommended at every 12 months or 10,000 Ks, and these come with an excellent capped price servicing plan. So should you buy one? No, yes, you should. Okay, look, it might not be the most exciting SUV out there, and it certainly isn't dripping in the same levels of panache and image that its European rivals provide so convincingly, but the Tucson is just the intelligent choice. The vast majority of these still have some factory warranty left on them, so if something were to go wrong, which let's be honest, it probably won't, Hyundai should cover it anyway. Add to that the fact that the Tucson is supremely practical, is generally loaded with tech and safety features, is wearing really well, and is an absolute joy to drive. Why wouldn't you buy a Tucson? Look, if you're the sort of person that needs a European car to feel good about yourself, like my dickhead mate, that's just really sad, and you really should get that sorted out, because if you're in the market for something like this and you don't seriously consider one of these, you're just missing out. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and hey, what did you think of the Tucson? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, can you please do us a favor and hit those like, subscribe, and bell icon buttons? It really does help us out. And after this, go and check us out on the socials. See you next time. G'day and welcome to ReDriven. There's a motorbike coming in, it's way too loud, so I'm gonna stop. Now look, we'd love to go good start, Morris. Grade and variant in this video, but it would just take far too long. But we have gathered at all Now look, we'd love to go ever. Early ones of these that are running out of any factory support. Go again, yeah, it's a bit shit. If something were to go wrong, which look, it probably won't, Hyundai will probably should sort it out anyway. Okay, here we go. Hyundai offered a fantastic 5-year unlimited Hyundai offered a come on, Morris, we're nearly there, it's melting. That's just sad, and you really should get that sorted out, because if you're in the market for something like this and you don't what's the words? Let's be honest, it probably won't. Hyundai Hyundai should cover it anyway. Hyundai should cover it anyway, Sam. Not that hard. Wait for this car. There's a heap of room back here and these seats fold completely flat. Fucking idiot. Let us know in those comments below. And can you remember, fucking, here we go, below. And can you please just, and remember, can you please hit those like, subscribe, and bell icon buttons? It's a huge, Guys, thank you so much for watching. And hey, my batteries, I need fresh batteries. I need coffee. Here we go. Guys, thank you so much for watching. And hey, what did you think of the hang on. It's very warm. Okay, here we go. Guys, thank you so much. I can't stop laughing.